Okay, we should be good. Right. Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to Frostpunk for session 8. The final part of Frostpunk actually. Don't think I'm going to finish this particular scenario in that time, which is a shame. That was kind of the goal I'm setting. But in general, it seems like people are getting a bit tired of having this one on the channel. Also a city builder, so it doesn't have a clearly defined end. Must admit to that as well. I think I'm going to go for prayer. Let us pray for salvation. So, since this game does not have a clearly defined end, there are after all supposed to be more scenarios. Then that means that it's up to me to decide when to end it. And, you know, it's been a useful experiment, I think, playing Frostpunk in one go. Also, I think I've just noticed that Twitch chat doesn't seem to be working yet. So let's make sure that Twitch chat is available in case anyone actually does wander in. That should about do it. Okay. So yeah, this has been an experiment. It's my first time streaming a game repeatedly over a short duration to finish the run in one big go, effectively. But while we're on the third scenario, so this has kind of shown us pretty well what the game has. And if you got the game, then you already know what it's got as well. And no doubt you played it much faster than me, since I've been holding off. But as I said, the general attitude seems to be that it's kind of run its course a little bit now. It's not quite outstayed its welcome as a stream thing, but it's not really welcome either. So, you know, that's why it's going to end. This is going to be session 8, the final session, as I've mentioned before. Put the phone's body and gently lower it to the ground. There's a tool chest at the base of the tree, steam cores. Engineer's tools and a death note. You lured me here with promises, kept me in the dark, told my wife I died. You're beyond contempt. I've been enjoying my farewell gift. It seems that the people it was intended for never read the note. I only hope that we don't become the recipients of whatever gift he left for them. Cracked ice and snow-covered supplies. Bury the poor man with his tools, or bury the poor man but take his tools? It's a single steam core. Let's go ahead and actually, with his tools, with respect, because he died believing that he had been completely betrayed, and likely he had been completely betrayed, so let's bury him with his tools as a mark of respect for his craft with his tools. Though admittedly that means we don't actually salvage anything. This place standing out. Regular shapes. And the only place. So we've got a couple of potential scout places and a salvage site. So let's get the salvage site first. Still, I suppose with this being finished up, that means we can replace it with something else, doesn't it? Another good ride. Grit was caught in vicious blizzard. Led in safety through the worst of it thanks to our beacon. Excellent. Welcome to whatever it is I've got going on here. Gotta be fair though, I'm still actually liking this game, so I'm gonna be playing this some more once the once things come to properly to a close. It's just you know, it's like it's more like a chill out kind of game. So that's why it might not be suited for repeated streaming. At least I think that's what's going on. Let's see. I want to get the temperature. The temperature. None of these other new places are actually heated after all. So I think about here would be good. Of course we do need more pathing as well. That's something I was told in the comments a while ago, that pathing around the place is kind of needed to help people move around better. But at least with all that going on, there will be plenty of faith and plenty of housing to get things sorted out. But what I really need though is for that coal to be fully harvested. Also, as the game crashed, that would be... Yeah, it just really froze up for a few minutes there. Jeez. Scouts have reached. Right. Crates are deep, but we're sure the valuable supply. Raw food. Except crates full of supplies, and no telling who might have lost them here. I'm kind of wondering that actually. Why are they out there? No doubt the game will never tell us. Not at all. Not at all. This game is only somewhat forthcoming because it does depend on what we can find that is out there. And if things are not out there, then we can't find it. Oddly enough. How much? What? Wait, are we out of? Are we short on food? I get the feeling we are. I must check this. Do we have food? We gain 60 per day, which is enough for 30, which is enough for 150 people. We've got enough. We've got enough coming in. Only just though. When this next group arrive, we're going to be needing some more. At least until everything gets sorted out. How are child shelters? The child shelters are doing. Children not in child shelters, 10. So we need an additional shelter, which will fit quite nicely there. And we got some trees as well, which we do need to kind of strip out. So that all of this stuff needs to be done. Which is probably why it's probably about time for this series to be coming to an end, of course. I just didn't feel like I could randomly say, boo, go ahead, and I won't do it ever, kind of thing. I didn't feel like I could do that. Which is why we've got this going on. Because if I did that, then it'd be like, there'd be no conclusion. Like, no end to the series. No end to the season, I suppose you could say, except that we don't know if this is going to come back ever or not. These people are getting healed up.
End of shift. Go rest all.
So, you know, it's a bit of an odd one, really. House of Prayer, there aren't many of them yet, but it might help start something special. It seems people really needed a proper place of worship. I'm glad to hear that. I just need to build another one in the next 2 days. Can I? I can, actually, but the problem with these faith ones is they actually have a really, really large influence area. So they actually affect way too many people at once. Actually, let's use the fighting arena to measure that. What we need is a fighting arena which is going to be there, I think, so that affects all of that. Then we have to have the faith building further around here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The pains of trying to make this thing even. Put it there. Oh well. Anyway, we've got plenty of people left on site now. We need to get more people. We need to get everyone doing all of their parts just to make sure that it's all good. We will need more food, so I'll actually assign some of that now. But unfortunately, I think we're also out of wood at this point. Yeah, wood's low again. We need to start cutting down more trees. Also, we need the wall drill. We need all of the things, as always. It's just a question of gathering up everything to be ready to get it all sorted out. Let's do exactly what was said about it, which is you watch this big steam engine and every so often you build a building. Let's be fair, when you're really short on resources, that is actually what this game kind of devolves into. It loses its pace so much. And I've got to admit that is actually a slight flaw in the game. Maybe it's why they said that it doesn't actually have that good in terms of implementation.
Listen, everyone.
That was one of the criticisms I recall being levered against the game. Or levered against the game, however you want to pronounce it. So many sick people. New landmark. Such a value, but frozen forest and rock slide. Ruined warehouse land. Oh, there's rock slide. Past that. A huge rock slide on the mountain face has revealed a man-made structure. And a forest sounds a gentle slope. Why isn't it buried in snow like everything else? Probably sheer luck, I'd imagine. Right, let's go over there and get that, but we need some more scouts, among other things. I am slightly concerned by how many people we've got randomly around the place, though. Just a slightly. Right, if I put a sawmill here, that will actually pretty much harvest everything. Yeah, if I put it there. A good long-term investment in terms of wood. I'm out of wood. Really? I didn't know that. The game tells me I am out of wood. Huzzah. Right. Maybe the face cam was a mistake. Ah, well. I started this series with a face cam. I'm going to end this series with a face cam. So that we can all see my delightful charm. My austere visage. Or however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. There are so many ways to call so many things. Come on, get that up. Thank you.
Time to get to work.
Max that out. Put engineers and workers. That's all running as much as it can as well. Okay. The problem is I need 50 wood now. So, let's assign the people where I can. And roll it on. Also, we need hope, so let's do that. But discontent is kind of like... oh, food quality. Complaining about the quality of food. They understand that times are hard and full meals are luxury, but eating one from time to time makes a difference to them. Is there a chance of that? We'll have 3 days to provide 132 standard food rations, or say no and discontent otherwise. You know what? Let's actually do that. Let's provide standard food rations. Let's be generous and see if we can do it. 16 per hour. That's 160 per day. The problem is the lower efficiency. Consumes 2 raw food. Don't need you on extended hours, actually. 2 raw food, that makes it 20 per day? That doesn't seem right. No, 16 per hour. 80 per day to run that. 73. I almost have it. I almost have it. I just need to find some random people. Which I don't have random people, unfortunately. But I guess I'll just have to pull off a couple of people off wood duty and then throw them into cooking, and the rest will just go out hunting to supply the ravenous demand for fresh food. Rock slide. A sheer concrete wall with a huge, heavy steel door. Steel and steam doors. We opened the door and the concrete wall with difficulty. Inside we found a veritable industrial treasure trove. An underground complex that probably housed a factory of some kind. Iron bank. Well, I've got steam cores and iron, but iron bank. That's further away than... okay, let's check that out. A massive rusted door set in sheer rock face. Looks like a door to a bank vault. Is this a stash of raw materials? Is this a place we can send an outpost to? Are we running out of coal? Valid question, actually. Oh, oh, coal income, 0 per day. I should have spotted that a bit sooner. Okay. We are running out of coal. Do we have any way to gather coal? We do not. We have no coal reserves left at all. And we don't have any means to gather said coal either. What we need then is a coal thumper, like, immediately. We should have had this much sooner. I don't even have engineers on that. 5. 5. I told you I want coal thumper, please. Start. But the problem is that's going to take them 9 hours to sort out, and workday ends about now, so I'm going to have to run them through the night to even get that. Emergency shift, 24 hours active. Massive discontent. But I need it. I need coal, like, as soon as physically possible. Because honestly the generator's not going to last through the night. Not at this rate, I think. Maybe tomorrow morning, but it's got like not much more than half a day's worth of fuel left in it.
The workday is up.
More. Group of refugees took a wrong turn at White Pass. They'll die if we don't send scouts to help them. Okay, so if we actually desperately want more people, we can send the group to White Pass, which is where? Took a wrong turn at White Pass. Not actually listed. Not just yet. And 40. Okay, that's enough of that. That will give me housing. But White Pass. That's what it said, White Pass. What I need is a lot of things. Damn fools, what were they thinking? Okay, has that given me that now? Oh, yep, there we go. White Pass. Single file disappears along it. What are they doing that way? Mind you, things are coming in from that general direction, so I don't know. Let's get the people drunk. Sure, let's just get the people drunk.
A new law has passed.
Sounds like a good idea. In fact, do we even need that? What heaters do we have on? All of them. Shut that down, shut that down. Can't save any more coal right. Oh, that's chilly. Shut that one down as well. That's what little coal I can spare to sort out. But this way I'm going to lose someone to just to death because of overworking. Iron bag. Crack between the vault door and the frame. It's wide enough to squeeze through, but completely dark inside. Okay, what is in here? It's indeed a vault in which the lords planned to preserve as much of their wealth as they could. I'm sensing a theme here. Yet there isn't much in the way of gold apart from some ancient jewellery and other works of art. There are wonders of science and knowledge here, instruments, books, newspapers and letters. Leave it intact or take what we can use. There's nothing here we can use right now? Or spare nothing, we need the raw materials. We don't really need the raw materials, leave it there. Might be of use actually when the lords come knocking, looking for their lost baubles, or just come chasing after us. That'd probably be useful at that point. We don't need the material, at least not right now. I can always send someone back for it later. I guess. Maybe. 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 Coal thumper. I will install the coal thumper. See, the coal thumper has... Well, we've actually got a slight issue here because we're going to get a new structure due to faith, which can benefit things like the coal thumper. And honestly, people is going to be our primary resource here. So, I might as well actually assign the thumper out this way. Put the thumper there. And then that'll let me plan resource collection around that. When we get the stuff to, you know, actually do said resource collection. But hopefully that coal thumper will stop us from freezing to death. We can but hope. How's our wood reserve? Our wood's pretty low. I'm actually going to kick the people out of there so that they don't do any more emergency shifts. Just, you know, save their lives. as the magnanimous evil overlord that I sometimes am, but most often am not. 15 max, yep. Coal. Oh, we've got gravely sick going on now. We've got many, many sick. We need... Oh... We need to actually develop things rather hastily, because it's like, when things were going bad, I let things get away from me a little bit. I actually need to enhance the livability of everything at this point. Think about there. Okay. But yeah, we just don't have the health care to deal with all of this. Our healthcare just isn't up to it. There's so many people sick, they're just not getting treatment, so that's why a whole bunch of them actually got worse. Should probably also deal with a public house just so that they stop getting so annoyed about things. Let's put it... There's actually an arterial link here, so let's actually put the public house there. So it's not in the middle of the city, but you know, it's a start. And build another arterial link through there. And of course we need the heat, which we can use metal for, which I think... yep, that is roughly correct. Put it there. So that's one of the mistakes I actually made in A New Home, quite severely. I was so caught up in just trying to bring it all in that I actually only had made a few roads going back and forth, and that didn't help much at all. Call them on, extend the hours. I actually really need to get the 2 gathering posts, which will gather from that. So let's put one there. And one there. That should do the trick. Okay, we've got a big, ugly, slamming pole just working on gathering stuff for us. Also, we might as well just dump random people into that and decommission this post entirely. We just don't need it. What we need is the engineers doing healthcare, because everyone is kind of bad. Oh, cool! I actually managed to feed people. Huzzah! I've fed people, but I don't think I've got enough going on anymore. I'm a bit short on people. Put 1 per hour on that.
Workday ends. It's off time.
Yeah, generators packing in. We're out of stuff. We're really out of stuff. So you're operational. I'm going to have to kick in emergency shifts actually just on the coal supply just to get things moving, because the generator's shutting down and it's right at the end of work shift as well. 24-hour shift is the only way I think I'm going to make it through the night without the generators packing in completely, which it's already doing, let's be fair. So I've mismanaged my coal situation by quite a bit. Is that everyone? Okay, but all those are running. Discontent, discontent, discontent. Work, you lazy buggers. Work, I say! Easing off the generators down. We're actually getting a lot of coal, so we can actually restart it immediately. Which is why we're doing this. And death from overwork. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. End all emergency shifts. We gathered a few hundred coal from that, so we bought a few hundred coal with a life. Though I think that's going to count against us in this scenario a little bit, because someone died. Sure. Yeah, we've got enough to get through the night, I think. We just need to deal with things. The one thing I've never done is I've never once selected the other option for dealing with the dead. Oh, someone else just died. Ready? We've got 2 deaths. of all things. Take the resources, please. Yeah, I've mismanaged this quite a bit, actually. 4 hours worth of coal. Oh, you're already here? Oh, the frozen forest is an outpost. 200 wood every 2 days. So it takes longer for that to deliver. But it will actually deliver more in one go. Oh, hello, we've actually got a comment from Mr. Lollard. Am I sick? How do you mean? I think depressed is probably a better term for it. Okay, we've got people. Yeah, I think I'm just more depressed than anything right now. And I think I need to develop some thicker skin, really. But I should probably activate the public house, come to that. And that and that. Okay. This is why I had the face cam off when I was doing FTD earlier. Like I said, I think it's more depressed and down than outright sick. I don't think I'm actually sick. It's just state of mind, yada yada, that kind of thing. When you finally make an Astroneer mini ep, I'll take a look at it. I'm guessing it's had another update or something, right? And when I'm going to do an avoidance stream today, sorry, not today. When am I going to do one? I guess tomorrow. Open the book of laws. Since this is the last time I'm going to be doing Frostpunk, that means I won't feel any obligation to do it tomorrow. So I could probably do an avoidance tomorrow, depending on when I become available during the day. There's now a mini rover. Interesting. Okay, so I've always played Cemetery until now. It's like I've always treated the dead with respect, but I'm kind of curious what is going to go on here if we do corpse disposal. New building snow pit, no risk of disease from unburied bodies. Bodies are preserved for potential future use, which actually opens up organ transplanting. I'll have to dig a snow pit. Hope will fall, discontent will rise. But I've never done this one before, so let's do that.
Hear me, hear me.
Human remains will be disposed of in the snow. Placements dug in snow must be placed outside of any heat zone so bodies don't rot. And then we've got space one perfectly right here next to some hunting huts. So we can place one right there. There we go. That's going to do a thing. Storage limit reached. These guys need to be extended work hours as well because they need to gather stuff. 50 per hour, 22, 44 per hour. That I think actually produces more than my gatherers can take away. So I think it is like 2? Or was it 3? I think it's 2 by 3. So I've put one there. That will let me fully employ that. And I'll also switch the cookhouse back to soup. And I don't have anyone else currently free, so that's all okay. So known that we're just leaving the dead in a heap. Bodies dumped in the snow like rubbish. Doesn't mean people are more content or hopeful. Dumping our dead in the snow is nothing to be proud of. What have we come to? Well, the resource in this scenario is actually people, like it or not. Also, we've got minor housing issues to deal with. Tents. Click. Click, and one there as well. Click. So, I don't know. That feels a bit bad doing that, but I was kind of curious to see what exactly it would be.
It's off time.
Okay, we've got excess healing capability. Shut that down, get people back into research. And give me a level 1. Because level 1 is all we've got going for us. It's just sheer luck that, well, it's not luck, it's like mad scrambling at the last minute that we've even got coal supply at the moment. Adaption. Organic fertilizer? Okay, so there's actually multiple picks down this route. I've never done radical treatment either, which is gravely ill treating medical posts, so I don't need an infirmary for it. Hope will rise slightly. 30% of gravely ill treating medical posts will be left as amputees, and discontent will rise slightly. Or organ transplants, sick recover faster. Save lives and accelerate healing. The dead can continue contributing to our survival velocity. Okay. Body parts taken from the dead will be used to help treat the sick. Treating the dead like just another resource. Yes, we are, actually. Not letting anyone cut me up into parts. I think the people aren't too happy about this one. Oop. I think someone just died, actually. Yeah, I think someone else just died. Avalanche survived a lot. An avalanche in the Black Spire separated them from their friends. They beg us to help them. I need more scouts. Jeez. I keep getting these things saying, we've had these problems before us. But I'm just not geared up quite to go and see to it all, unfortunately. So that's causing a few issues. There. Let's continue the road around it. We're going to need some more heating though as well. Yeah, we need heating for this section too. 14 people. Put that there, put that there, put that there. Honestly, it's been a while since I've played Astroneer, so I'm kind of curious to see what has happened to it. I know there's been a lot that's changed since last time I saw it. So, something to look forward to, I suppose. Hi, Red the Rage. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I should probably also start using my ability. There we go. Spiritual words. Believe in me, people. Also, temperature's gone through the floor. So, ramp up all heat so that all structures will at least remain operational. No, they're not very good. Everyone's going to get sick. I don't have enough tech by far. I'm really, really short on tech, actually. I'm unbelievably short on tech. Also, I've just realised I don't have any metal income either. That might be another potential issue. On the bright side, I've got tech level 1. Hey! Oop. Side question, have I ever played the Command & Conquer series? Have I ever played the Command & Conquer series? I believe I have played every single Command & Conquer the game, except for that really odd MMO-based one that came out way back about the same time as Tiberium Wars. Apart from that one, I've played every Command & Conquer game out there, actually. A woman is sitting in the snow pit, holding her dead husband's hand, crying her heart out. Perhaps you should have agreed to give people proper burials after all. Make an exception, discontent, or did what I had to do. We're committed. Did what I had to do. I am sorry, my dear, but yes. But yeah, I have followed Command & Conquer for some time. Frostbite. Great deal due to frostbite. This will keep happening if people have to work in such cold. I see. We just don't have the heat for any of this technology. Can we do something to help alleviate the heat issue, which is now a massive problem? We actually need more scouts, so let's grab that first. But basically, I think this is the least I've cared for my people in this game to date. just for the fact I'm using snow pit. Doesn't feel too good, to be honest. Even if there are some bonuses down that route, it becomes a question of what are you sacrificing to get the benefits that supposedly come from using the corpses of the dead to help sustain the living. Where does it end? How far does it all go? Oh yeah, they're actually using that primary path through there.
The shift
Cool.
is ending.
Next, from the Depths playthrough, can I do a Brotherhood of Nod theme? I could try, I suppose. It depends on when a new playthrough comes up. Quite honestly. Also, which era of Nod are you thinking of as well? Are you thinking like Command & Conquer 2, Command & Conquer 3? Are you thinking Tiberium Twilight? Really? I mean, there's all sorts of places you can choose from. I have no metal at all. Wait, can I build that? Did I? I did. I did anticipate that. I anticipated that I would be needing metal, so I actually did research the buildings to do that stuff. I just haven't made any of them. I'm really on top of things today, aren't I? Okay, let's put those there. Sheesh. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, just keeping charge of people. On the way here, spotted a ship some distance away from the landing site. Ah, a ship. Okay, that doesn't sound promising. Excuse me. 15 people. Okay. Let's max that out. We need 5 available to work a new scout patrol as soon as we research that. Command & Conquer 3 era. Interesting. It's been some time since I played Command & Conquer 3, quite honestly. Quite some time. I might need to do a refresher course on that one. Though, it was also from the time where I beat all games max difficulty, so, you know, I was a bit of a monster on Command & Conquer 3. Well, at least my friends on Xbox Live absolutely hated playing against me, so... You know, because I just played it, and played it, and played it, and played it, and played it. There's also Kane's Wrath as well, by the way, you know. So that's another source of material and stuff. Await incoming, have at least 250. I'm going to complete a bunch of these objectives really soon. Scouts. Okay, so I've got more scouts. The heating is not right now an issue because that was a level 2 heat snap. So level 2 cold wave, which has actually abated since then. So don't need that. What I really need though is better sources of stuff. I could also do with maybe an infirmary. Maybe actually start caring for my people. Maybe. But if I'm do a Command & Conquer playthrough on YouTube and then from the Depths and theme. Could do that. I've got the Command & Conquers. I think I've got all of them actually on PC. Except for that Commando one. Rogue? No, that wasn't the name of it. That first person one. Since I borrowed that one from a friend, I never actually got my own copy of it, I think. Not entirely sure though. I think it must be somewhere in my PC wall, just over there. I'll have to go digging. See what I've got. I know I've got pretty much all of them on disc though. Wall, charcoal, resource depots. Generator power upgrade is probably a good start. Though actually, a bunkhouse would probably be quite useful, so let's grab that. Also, metal would be useful as well, so I'm going to start sending people over that way. 2, and apply the rest into metal production, so give me some metal, please. Oh, you there? Okay, White Pass. Led by fools. Shouts and cheers break through the howling winds as we descend from the pass into a small camp. Are you from the city? Asks one of the refugees. Relieved by answer, he tells us about a group of know-all engineers who led them in the wrong direction. New site, Snow Dune. That's 50 people almost. 50 people in one go. Escort them back. That's usually the fastest. Also, I didn't deploy the scout team that I wanted to. I kind of forgot. I just keep getting distracted. When I'm down, I get distracted as well. So, new scouts, just as well really, because we've got Black Spire very nearby as well, and landing sites. That's where a ship was spotted, and that's where our particular crafts came to rest as well, isn't it? So there's something going on, probably involving the nobles that we left behind, if I had to guess. London is not done with us just yet. Purpose, I want field kitchens actually, because that's an additional structure which uses food to raise the heat level in the area. So it's an additional heat building that only appears in the religious side. Shrine. Raise the hope of people working nearby. Shrines have an increased efficiency of nearby workplaces. You'll have to build 3 shrines. Build 3 shrines, please.
New law. A new law has passed.
Okay, so workplaces. Only places with active work shifts can use these. However, we've got a couple of sites which need it. The requirement is that I build 3 of the things though. So I'll put one. I guess if I moved it along one to there, I will be needing a road there to get an additional gathering post later. So I can put a shrine in there. That's not really a problem. That'll do. And we need one over here as well for the steelworks. And they also apply to the medical tents I've got dotted around the place as well, so another shrine there. Perfect. Got people randomly dying. That's because we've got a whole bunch of people gravely ill and actually no provision for them. At all. So, you know, it's corpses for the corpse pile, I guess. That's one way we could look at it. Maybe. Can we get tech level 2? No, we need metal. Ah. Tiberian Wars was really great. I actually loved the Steel Talon faction in Kane's Wrath. That was awesome, that. Workers is drunk. Scaring people. Nonsense about lords. Lords are coming in that ship, you'll see. They're coming with the bastard Lord Craven, who's taken what's ours. Let him be, or I can't shut him up because I don't have anything about enforcement, so let him be. Can I do cybernetics on people? You mean prosthetics? Unfortunately, this game does not advance as far as cybernetics, as far as I know. And the answer is no, I can't do that. Because that's several picks away. Also the fact that people are gravely ill, but they're not actually amputees, so I couldn't do that anyway. They're just dropping dead because I don't have any kind of care facility in place for them. Oh, I don't actually need you at all, do I? Turn you off. Because looking at that, at the stats, those 2 will be enough for it. Never played Kane's Wrath. Kane's Wrath included a couple of new systems actually. It was quite nice. It included a versus leader thing, which is basically you just play matches against all the other factions and sub-factions in the game with a chosen faction. and each faction gained 2 sub-factions, which had some differences to the main one. Like, they had some different units, they had some upgrades, and they also lost some techs and abilities as well. Like, Steel Talons was a GDI faction, which actually got the old Wolverines from Tiberian Dawn. And the Titans as well replaced their tanks. So they got highly advanced walkers and things like that. Their Juggernauts were also upgraded with pillboxes as well, so their Juggernauts could actually have infantry garrisoned in them, like a mobile bunker, which was quite useful, actually. But the downside is that they lost some of their versatility, some of the more advanced things, like I don't think they got railguns, or zone troopers, or things like that. So they lost some of the high-end stuff from elsewhere, some of the infantry and things as well, so to help balance it out. But the Wolverine was a welcome highly mobile vehicle with anti-infantry firepower because of its double machine guns. And the Titans had long-range cannon fire, and they could actually walk on light vehicles as well, despite being an early accessible tank. So they could actually stamp on enemy light vehicles available at the same time. Because it's like, ooh, enemy raider buggy, let's go and step on it. That kind of thing. So they're actually a very potent anti-vehicle unit. And I loved it because it was like robots, you know? Though it also included a new campaign as well for Nod. Like walking through Nod's history, which brought them up as far as the... well, it basically stitched together a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff leading up to the time of Command & Conquer 3. Don't have metal for that. I need metal. Darn it. I'm going to extend the shifts in these places. And more people die. How many people... I think this is my highest number of casualties yet. How many people have I got? There's 5 bodies in the snow pit right now. House of Healing. Not right now, no. I do, however, want to get Field Kitchen. Which is, Field Kitchen raises the temperature of nearby workplaces by 1 level. I'll have to build 2, but I've got 2 spots where I want to put them. 5 wood, 10 steel. It's actually, I think, one of the smallest buildings in the game. This one,
Hear me.
as well. So it's the smallest thing that's actually not on a path, as far as I can tell, being only a 2x3. But as you can see, it projects an additional localized heat zone that affects only workplaces. So if I put one here, it'll heat up this entire gathering spot, and if I put one up here, then it'll heat up these workshops. So, quite an interesting little thing. Unfortunately, oh wait, I can actually afford that now. Scouts have returned with people and many things. All of it very shiny. Reach our city. They look around eagerly, longing for a hot meal and a warm bed. Okay, we've got 11 sick. 31 people have turned up. I did not prepare housing at all because I'm somewhat distracted. But I think I'm going to send some scouts down to the Snow Dune, actually. And that's heading in the general direction of the landing site. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I think Kane's Wrath is a fun little thing. So, definitely worth looking into. Personal charm beads and written prayers at shrines as votive offerings. Seems to help keep their spirits up in these trying times. Faith is very good for developing hope. Very good, because you get a lot of passive hope generation when you're playing with faith in this game. Though, admittedly, there are some bonuses which are only available in Order. So, Order is a lot more in terms of like raw resource and manufacturing ability. Faith is more about hope in this thing. Might as well start a mass upgrade as well. Let's get some new things in. And they swarm around just to get all that build. There we go.
Gather your tools.
The final group. Say this group has no more refugees coming. We're the last to leave the ships, so we should be the last to reach the generator. There's no living soul left on the trail behind us. Okay, so we actually held out for everyone. We are checking things out. Black Spire. Exhausted travellers. Okay. This group of people got lost after an avalanche separated them from the others. Exhausted, they stopped here to recover, but the supplies are running out. On the way here, they saw a large, peculiar structure buried in the snow. They have no idea what it is, other than it was a man-made. Escort those back. Another 38 people. And I think that might be all she wrote, as far as finding people is concerned. Oh, search and rescue, achievement. You saved all of our people. You did it. Our friends, families, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives are safe. We're stronger now. You prove that together we can achieve the impossible. I am Mr. Miracle. Hope rises. Because we managed to track down everyone. Probably a bit touch and go on some of that, but hey, we did it. And we got them all. We also need more housing as well. Because we've got 16 homeless currently, and these guys are bringing another 40. We need 6 more houses. 6 houses. What's the range on the faith building? What's the range on that prayer? Pretty good. So I think we can get another house in there, and then we might need a faith building there. Not sure. Do we need another house of prayer? Kinda. We kind of need a house of prayer over this way somewhere, actually, to see to everything. What about a fighting arena? How's that looking? Oh, fighting arena is looking absolutely fine. So let's go ahead and actually build some things out on an outer ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need some tents. 5. And I am thinking, like, put it there. Then we can have... Well, if we had any metal we could do something, but we don't. We keep running out of things, don't we? We've got draft machines now, so draft machines we can actually try and do something else, like we could get an outpost out, we could get factories, boost our steel intake. Our steel is actually absolutely pitiful. We should get food though, if we can. Would it be a little bit smarter to make field kitchens next to the place of worship? It would be, except for the fact it doesn't actually have any effect. So there's actually not any point to doing so. Bit of a shame that, but that's also quite true as well. And I can't afford anything right now. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. Kitchens also need to be staffed as well, so let's staff these guys, get them active. Right, so these places, they provide a level of heat to nearby workplaces. So any industrial or production building next to it will get a bonus level of warmth from being next to a field kitchen. So that's what they do. But they don't affect houses, and so they can't heat homes up. And churches, as in these houses of prayer and things like that, they don't actually need heat at all to function because they aren't actually staffed by anyone. So no one actually goes in them. I really want that. Don't have the metal. So yeah, there's actually no benefit to it. All it would do is basically waste food for no gain. So, you know. I thought of trying it though. That's how I know it wouldn't work, because I actually did try it. But yeah. It'd be very useful if it did. It would make surviving an outright storm a lot simpler if you could get an extra heat level squeezed out like that.
Cold is coming.
Oh, young couple. Captain, a young couple asked us to deliver this note to you. We were separated on the trail and had to fight back despair. Thanks to your efforts, we've been reunited. No words can express our gratitude. I see. Thank you. So, once again, I'm doing something correct. I guess. Okay.
Get to work.
Scouts have arrived in the city with 40 people. We should have enough housing for that. We do. So have the answers of Black Spire reached our city. They have finally been reunited with their friends. Okay, so that's... Since we got the achievement for that, I believe that will be everyone that we can possibly get has now been brought in. So we're now actually at capacity, pretty much. Also, I'd like to note, by the way, that as soon as we got a coal thumper, we immediately had no coal problems whatsoever. It was just a question of getting the people to operate it and the gathering posts attached to it. Once we got that, cakewalk, as far as coal was concerned. No wonder there's an achievement for operating the city entirely off coal. Sorry, off charcoal, rather. Because that would actually be a bit of a challenge, I think. Seeing as you need to run that off your wood supply, which is your primary building material as well. So minus 20 per day, but the thing is, I've not actually upgraded my food intake, have I? I should probably double check this one now. My food intake is at plus 80 per day. I have 334, most of which are actually unassigned. I've got a lot of unassigned people right now. And a lot of kids that aren't in shelters either. I do need another place of worship to just deal with this last spot along here, I suppose. We also need the temperature up as well, of course. So, temperature, if we put that... Where's not... Oh wow, I've not actually bothered to install heating for quite a while. That needs to be there, actually. And then that needs to be there. That should heat everything, I think. But... what I was talking about is food. 344. Let's tune it for 400. So that's 40, 80, 160 raw food intake is what we need. We need twice as much food as we get in right now, actually. Got any factories or robots? No, actually. Not in this one. Honestly, this one is a bit of a low-tech situation. Because this is like a city made of refugees that have been piling in. If I'd been managing it better, I could have teched up and gotten some robots and things around. Though there also seems to be a bit of a shortage of steam cores as well. But in this one we've got an abundance of people arriving in a very short time, and I think that's the main challenge of it. 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, Lolly. Welcome back. Actually, no, we don't want that one there. That's in a heat zone. Nope. Hunters don't deserve to have warmth. Not at all. Yeah, welcome back. Appreciate the field kitchens we build for them. They've sent a delegation to thank you. We already thanked our brothers in faith who run the kitchen, and we'll keep them in our prayers. In this frozen wasteland, anything that keeps one warm is a lifesaver. Hope will rise. Is it a shanty city, basically? I think there's another achievement, which is beat a scenario using only tents. So, you know, so the worst one. The worst possible housing. And there is also an opposite achievement, which is beat a scenario without building any tents as well. So there is a bunch of ways you can try to play it. They have their own problems, though, of course. If you play using only tents, your tents can't be warmed up very much. So you have to watch out for the cold and your medical situation very carefully. There's another achievement, by the way, to finish a scenario without building any medical structures at all. So, yeah, have fun with that one. And then if you play without building any tents, then you have to research level 1 tech and then get a bunkhouse before you build any housing whatsoever, which is again going to result in a lot of early sickness, which is probably going to be crippling early on in a scenario with any kind of difficulty setting on it. So, I don't know. How many kids have I got lying around right now? 31 kids. Okay, I need 3 shelters. Jeez. Build 2. Can I build a 3rd? I'm out of steel. Right. Alright, now I can build one. Those should be warmed. I also just upgraded my hunter's tactics finally, which means I only need 10 people per hunting hut rather than 15 like it was before. So, you know, 30% more in terms of hunting capability.
Night is coming.
Oh, looming threat. Beacon report a large group of strangers marching in our direction. We have to assume that the lords are coming. Our people are afraid and the worst fears are coming true. Going to die in this frozen hell if they force us to leave. Even if they let us stay, they'll turn us into their slaves. We must be ready to fight. Face the lords. Okay. The prospect of so many lords coming here has caused understandable tension. The conflict between people from different social classes could jeopardize the future of our city. In the next few days, the shape of our society may well be completely redefined. Okay, so we're hitting the second stage on this, whatever it is. Cold homes. I don't care about cold homes. So you get the sniffles. So what? I'm actually upgrading that as fast as I can. So I don't care about my people. What in madness are you talking about? Caring about the people? Very strange. Very, very strange. Okay, let's actually get lighter scout sleds. Yeah, basically it's a shanty city right now because of all the tents in it. But as I said, I'm working on upgrading things. It's just taking a while because it requires resources. But it's doing okay, I suppose. I can't hold a sermon yet to reassure people. Book of Laws, though. Book of Laws, what do you say? I could go for evening prayers. I could go for a House of Healing. Do I need a House of Healing? I don't think I do. No, for once, healthcare is actually under control. Do I need anything down here? Not really. I've never enabled dueling either because of random deaths. But right, evening prayer. New ability, evening prayer in House of Prayer as a temple. Each use raises hope, lowers discontent. I think it uses wood, if I recall correctly.
A new law has passed.
So let's see, houses of prayer cost me 20 food rations. So yeah, I spend food. I think there's one that does wood as well. Any form of security. There is... Oh, that's another difference. The Faith Path gets access to Faith Keepers, which is basically religious zealots that patrol the streets for enforcing the faith and all that jazz. So they get their own version. It's just available much later in than you can get guard station from the Order route. Order route gets access to guard stations really quickly, like immediately. So it's literally the first thing. But Faith, it gets a single building which deals with that instead. Oh wait, you're waiting? At the Lone Boulder. Canning workshop and a damaged snowcat. Oh hello, group of lords. That's 100 people coming in. And they're coming in from a different direction as well. They're actually coming from this path here, rather than down here, which is where we landed. So they must have landed here and are moving this way. Yeah, I think this is what it meant by saying that the social differences will cause tension. There's no smoke. Small building with no smoke. Does that mean there might have been survivors there if I'd found it sooner? But yeah, we've basically got 100 people approaching. Flipping 100 people, jeez. I can't sustain that. They're probably going to want to move in. They are unarmed. The approaching strangers are carrying no weapons. Whatever their intentions, they have no means of attacking us, but people are wary. It's a trick to catch us off guard. The lords are cunning. Those leeches would do anything to get back at us, mark my words. I am actually finding this increasingly intriguing. The social disharmony is going to come to a front in all of this. What time is it though? Yeah, the social disharmony is going to cause problems. It's actually growing into a bit... looks like it might be becoming a fairly complex social situation. At least this one will. But unfortunately, this scenario will not be finished in the channel or these streams because, as I said, since it seems to have outstayed its welcome a little bit, this is actually going to be the last stream session of it. And because FTD overran, this is also a shorter one as well. So we're actually going to be ending this really soon and saying goodbye to Frostpunk content for the foreseeable future, if ever, on the channel. So that's the feedback I got. So I'm going to accept it, and then I'll have to find something else to play on for people's amusement and my own embarrassment at my own ineptitude and all that jazz. Like Scout says. Oh, Hazeldan, that timing. Maybe next playthrough you should form a military empire. There's no military option on this. When you get woken up by your neighbour, it makes your day start terrible. But then you turn on your PC and the heavens sing, Ion is live, and the day gets better. I'm not going to be live for much longer, but still, at least I'm glad I managed to cheer you in some way though, Hazeldan. Welcome to the stream. I need heat. Where am I going to fit another 100 people actually? I think that's a more valid question, isn't it? Where am I going to pack these extra 100 people into my city? I know I need more cooking power to deal with this, so more cooks, please. We've got 53 standard workers. Wow. Can't quite fit that there. It's going to have to go in like that. But yeah, I'm only going to be live for like another maybe 15 minutes, I think. I think that's all I've got going. So, what do I want? Coal we're fine for. Housing, that we're working on. Food we do need. Medicine's probably going to be needed as well, actually. So maybe we should get flying hunters, or maybe we should fast track the tech. Oh, we can't because we don't have the wood for it. That provides another route, which is wall drills. Let's grab that instead. Oop. Long hours of toil. Attention for days on end. Yeah, sure. I don't need the days on end stuff. Go ahead. Slow down. That actually... My entire discontent bar basically was because I had people working too long. Snow dune. Explore that. Any value, but able to reach some more promising locations. Snow Cat Supply Depot. Okay. Normally what we're looking at, due to its sunny yellow colour, is a snowcat, the most opulent and advanced Arctic vehicle. I think I want you guys to go to the landing site though, actually. Because if you go to the landing site, we can visit our dreadnought and see what's going on over there. The other guys though, they're just waiting over there at the canning workshop. The workshop canned the fish caught in the lake. The double doors of the main entrance is wide open. Surrounding buildings have been burned down. Well, that's unfortunate. Large cargo sled fully loaded with food in the yards must have been standing in a deep puddle of meltwater when a sudden wave of frost hit, leaving it stuck in the hard ice. Fishing boat and a fishing village. Oh wow. 500 prepared resources. Prepared food. There's also, I think, a food outpost site over here. Fishing village. Sort of fishing boat. Can't see any signs of life. Vehicle wrecked by an explosion. Damaged snowcat. Well, let's keep on checking. We gotta check this stuff and see what's out there. At least we've got to do that. Also, we need more food. So, food, always welcome. More stuff to munch on.
End of shift. Go rest all who can.
Also, let's... Oh, no wonder I'm running out. That sawmill's actually run down. I think this is probably the other side of this... Well, the other side of the scenario coming in a little bit. Because we did note, like a session or two ago, that we didn't have very much wood on this particular map. Not much at all. We also need to gather this as well. Max that out. Fishing village, search it. A broken ice drill. This village was supposed to supply our city with food. The vehicle carried a broken ice drill, used for making air holes big enough for us to fish under the ice. We can fix it and build an outpost here, or dismantle it and retrieve one steam core. We'd also get a load of wood. I think we'll repair the drill, keep the chance for an outpost. That's all okay. And just send you guys further out. Because we're about to see what the Lords are going to say. And I think, actually, that would be a good place to end it. We see what happens when the Lords, our rightful rulers and masters, catch up to us and say hello at the city. So, yeah, we get to find out exactly what happens when that does. Sounds like a good place to end it, I think, actually.
Wrap up well. The frost is here.
Got a temperature problem. We got a medical post which is too cold. Turn the heat on. Turn the heat on. These guys are chilly, but they're okay for the most part. I could do with a generator boost, quite honestly. We also need some more things. This is why the field kitchen is useful, because we get to put down, because it makes the workplaces warmer, so it also makes them safer for your people to work in as well. I'll put one there. And those two will help heat up these workplaces as well. And that lets workplaces keep going even if a storm hits. The Lords are approaching. The Lords are nearly here. There are many of them, but they look miserable. They seem to be carrying no... Yep, I thought so. They're going to be joining us. Carrying no food supplies. When they reach the city in a few hours, they'll have no choice but to beg us for help. You will have to decide their fate. Okay. Also, our coal supply is actually starting to look a bit dicey. We might need more coal thumpers. We've got the workers to do something like that, but output of 60, and they gather up 30 per. I can't upgrade my coal thumper, but I can build a new one. I'll also put in an additional gathering post. But the arrangement here is such that when I gain the ability to upgrade my coal thumpers to support double the number of people, so double the number of gatherers, I can then just dismantle one of the coal thumpers. Deal with the incoming groups of lords, 0 out of 3. Oh, my people aren't too happy with that. They don't want to see the lords coming in. Also, we've got 13 people freezing? What? Why do I have 13 people freezing? Oh, it's probably because they're out in the storm. Yeah, they're out in the cold. Yeah, this is a really good game to chill out on, Hazazan. Pun not intended, but yeah, it's a very awesome looking game, nice and relaxing to play on, and you can just while away plenty of time on this thing actually if you feel so inclined. Just get better coal thumpers. But it's all about survival against the environment and the gathering cold, because it gets worse over time. I'm still really worried because a bunch of people are freezing. It's just, I think, because they're out building stuff, really. Okay, that coal thumper is ready for operation, so turn it on. I also need these two gathering posts active as well. I promised to let people rest. I broke my promise, forcing them to work overtime. Hope falls, discontent rises. That's right. I had promised not to make people work harder for a while, give them a break. And I just broke that by setting these guys up for maximum output. Whoopsie. Oh well, promise broken now, which has caused a little bit of discontent. It actually hasn't really done anything to my hope, though. For some reason. Are you guys fully functional? Yeah, you're all fully functional. Oh, nope, there it goes. Massive chunk of hope, chunk of discontent. I can, however, just pray for the souls of my people. So I'll pray, just give me a little bit of hope back. And then I'll have evening prayers, which will be extravagant, and I'll use a little bit of food for that. And that has refilled my hope bar completely. Awesome. I told you that faith is really good for this. Okay. Something we do need, though, I think, is I really do want Temple, but Faith Keepers would be a better choice, because Faith Keepers we can use to enforce things if trouble starts happening. Faith Keepers can actually give us some more options for that. So, Faith Keepers, you can break up protests. Nighttime procession reduces discontent in the city, so that's an anti-discontent measure. I'll have to build the Faith Keepers, and discontent will rise just by having it. 40 wood and 50 steel to build it. But I can establish zealots to protect the faith as soon as I've got material to do so. Actually, that's what I needed. I needed a wall drill. I need to drill the walls for wood. Is it only the one site then? I think it was. Yeah, there was only one long-term source of wood, so it's that one. Okay, here they come. Oh, the main group's coming, and there's one standing in the lead. Also, I didn't build houses for them. Ugh. Okay, right. Lords in rags. Captain, the lords have arrived. They are starving. There's at least 100 of them. 100, and more are coming. They beg us to let them in. But that would mean sharing our food supplies and finding them shelter. So I've got 3 options. Let them in. I'll see to everyone's needs. You will have 2 days to provide shelter for people and feed people. Hope will fall. Let them in. I'll improve the food infrastructure. You have 2 days to provide shelter for people and build industrial hothouses or hunters' hangars. 3 total. Discontent will rise. I actually have enough material to, I think, well, I don't have enough wood. I've got enough food to see to everyone's needs. Improve food infrastructure, I'll need to do that. I don't have the wood, though, to do that immediately. I could possibly do that. Or I can send them away and they'll set up a camp outside the city. So they'll form a base right next to us of some kind. And I'm guessing that that will cause problems as well, but in a different way, because it's like they asked, they basically begged us for help, and we said, "On your bike, go away, bugger off," and they will probably remember that. What type of vehicles are available for people in the city to use? there aren't any. It's all on foot. Scouts get to use wooden sleds to pull things around, but there's no kind of vehicles. There's no kind of um, cars. There's no kind of animal transport either. There's no horses, no donkeys, no cows, no nothing. Um, they are the mechanoids though, but they aren't really built for it. They're more like automated worker units. They don't seem to be fitted for carrying people, though they can carry supplies. And in the previous scenario, they were carrying supplies to another city in need. So let them in. I'll improve the food infrastructure. Come on in. So many starving people requires immediate action. Besides housing them, we need to provide more efficient sources of raw food, such as hunters' hangars and industrial hothouses. Problem is, all that needs wood, and wood is actually what I've run out of right this moment. So that's going to cause problems. But I've got 4 days to build a Faith Keeper, and I've got 2 days to deal with the food and housing. Lords and Rags. Starving lords enter the city. Our people are not happy with their arrival. The lords, on the other hand, are rejoicing. Thank you, kind people. We'd have been doomed if you hadn't let us in. Yeah, if they'd formed a camp, that would have been a source of trouble, I think. We've also built our first Steam Core building, if that's any consideration. If there was the other way around, they wouldn't have let us in. Yeah, that's agreed. We should put our people first. We will be. If they cause trouble, I'm going to kick them out again, basically. So, you know. I'm also going to say 24-hour emergency shift on the wall drill, because I need wood. Need all the wood I can get. I also need more storage. I can't hold much food. Cold homes? Nope. I don't care if you guys are getting cold. I think a third of you live in tents still, actually. My bad that, but you know. Fishing boat. We dug out the fishing boats. It was hard work, but it was worth it. We have retrieved some valuable resources. Dismantle the boat. We get metal and food. Sure. This scout team can start heading back, actually. And the last thing we're going to do, actually, since we are now hitting spot on 9 o'clock for me, so you know, good time to be stopping, is we'll explore the landing site, which brought us to this happy corner of the world. Snow has hidden every trace of the crowds that passed through here. From the shore, we are unable to see the mysterious ship reported by our people. We have to get higher. We spotted the ships on the top of the cliff over Haven. It's big, but not a dreadnought or a freighter. Most likely it's an ocean liner. And we've unlocked ocean liner and icebound hulks. We've also found a load of wood. I think the lords are lighted over this way. And oh yep, ocean liner's over that way. I think that's where the lords came in from. An ocean liner which pulled up over here before it got completely stuck. And then they're just walking down probably this path here to get to the city, while we just came up this way. Either that or the ocean liner's been stuck there for a long time. I don't know which. It's hard to say. But still, that said, it is actually time to end this one though. So, that's been the last Frostpunk session. I'm not planning to record more of this, or stream more of it. We got through 2.5 scenarios though. Pretty good, and this one is shaping up quite nicely. But, you know, people said they weren't really wanting to see this one much anymore, so, you know, it's been 2 weeks, fairly solid. It's been a good one, and I think playing through a game in one go, at least ones that are single player like this, is definitely a viable thing to do. So there'll probably be some more longer streaming series in the future, I think. But yeah, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show here for one final time for Frostpunk, and I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.